In order to achieve the result of peace for the world, the so-called peace deal has to be fair, in which both sides of the concerned countries receive the best deal for them. First of all, the world leaders have to offer Russia or Putin a guarantee to return safety, security, and honor to Russia by not punishing President Vladimir Putin in any way. They have to guarantee like that, like nothing has happened. Things already have happened. Damage has already been done. There is no use, no need at all to punish the so-called enemy, to punish President Putin. First of all, guarantee President Putin's safety, security, and honor. Second, not to destroy the Kremlin. Third, they must show friendship to the Soviet Union. And then, everything that belonged to Ukraine before the war will be returned rightly to the Ukrainian people. Only by being fair and just and having forgiveness and loving friendship will result in peace for the region. And that means also peace for the whole world. And world leaders should help in reconstructing Ukraine for the damage caused by the war, and not having to punish Russia for all the rebuilding costs, because the Russian people are innocent. They did not start the war. The war was started by leaders, not by the citizens. The Russian people, they have protested, they have risked their lives, their imprisonment to go out on the streets all this time.
Russian citizens by the thousands are protesting the war in Ukraine at great personal risk to themselves as the Putin government cracks down on all kinds of dissent.
From Yekaterinburg to St. Petersburg to the capital, Moscow, thousands of Russians across the country sharing one chant, one voice, spilling into streets and city squares, outraged ever since President Vladimir Putin last week ordered a full-scale invasion of neighboring Ukraine.
War must be stopped. It must be. It's crazy what's going on right now. We should all shout no to war.
Many protesters say they don't want to feel as if they have Ukrainian blood on their hands.
I don't want this war. Almost no one here wants it. I want the whole world to see that we don't want it. We don't want it to weigh on our conscience for decades. I don't want to feel guilty for living here through my whole life.
Many Russians see Ukrainians as their brothers and sisters. Plenty have family and friends there. Olga Maheva doesn't want Putin's assault to lead to both countries' destruction.
It is a crime, both against Ukraine and Russia. I think it is killing both Ukraine and Russia. I am outraged. I haven't slept for 3 nights. And I think we must now declare very loudly that we don't want to be killed and don't want Ukraine to be killed.
But as swiftly as Russians began to decry the conflict, so too came the armed police to strangle the dissent. One video on social media showed Russian security forces in St. Petersburg roughing up a woman holding a peace sign and a baby. Speaking out risked not only physical harm, but Russian authorities warned protesters could face criminal charges that could mark their records for life. An independent monitoring group reports that more than 6,000 demonstrators have been arrested.
The people have taken their long accumulated anger to the streets once again. Tension is rising every day on the cold and gloomy streets of Moscow. As the war in Ukraine enters its 3rd year, the patience of the Russian people is running out. Prices have become uncontrollable due to economic sanctions, and access to basic food is becoming increasingly difficult. Market shelves are emptying and people have to wait in long queues. However, the biggest anger is against the Kremlin's unstoppable troop deployment. An unidentified young man said, "They took my brother. He did not come back. Is it my turn now?" He shouted, mobilizing the crowd. These words spread on social media in a short time and caused the incident to grow. By noon, hundreds of people marched towards the local administration building with banners in their hands, chanting slogans such as "Stop the war," "Give our children back." This war is not ours. The protesters became increasingly angry. Similar protests broke out in Moscow, Rostov, and Samara. Especially in Samara, crowds gathered in front of police stations and demanded a halt to recruitment. In the evening, thousands of people took to the streets in Moscow. Despite the freezing winter cold, people raised their voices against the Kremlin, holding photographs of their fallen relatives. A mother waved the photograph of her son who died on the front line towards the security forces and shouted, "Did he die for Putin?" These words of the mother soon became the symbol of the protests. Police intervened in the demonstrations in Samara and arrested hundreds of people. Tear gas and batons were used on the street.
So do not punish them further by making them pay more for the war cost. The majority of the countries in the world have not been supporting Russia, and many hands make light work. So each country, according to affordability, should contribute to the rebuilding of Ukraine. Also, by black and white writing that the Russian people or Russia, the country, will not be punished or destroyed in any way. What's done is done. We have to think of the future, look forward to rebuild peace, not holding a grudge or making punishment a measure for Russia or Ukraine in any way, no matter who has started the war or what provoked it. In the form of humans, mistakes are possible because we have a brain, we have the mind, which is influenced by all kinds of bad or good events or logic or thinking. Thus, mistakes, even in a form of war, can be possible. The best thing is that we forgive, completely forgive, delete everything in the past, start all over again from zero. As if things have happened by accident. Many times, nature punishes us also for all our wrongdoings and wants us to repent and restart our lives in the right direction, but we didn't do it. Thus we have had much damage in the world, not just in any particular country, but in many countries. Nowadays it's more and more evident, more obvious by so many disasters, man-made or natural. So please think of the war in Ukraine, which also damaged both Russia and Ukraine. Think of it. Think of that war as a disaster. In many of the disasters, we have more people dead, more property damaged, and many related diseases and destruction that come with them. So please, can we just forget it all together and begin anew, as if a disaster had just happened? It's very difficult for me to even talk about this. My heart is too much in pain for all the terrible things happening in the world, not just in Ukraine and Russia. You can see it for yourself. Nowadays we have so much blessings from God, from heaven. Our life is so much more comfortable than hundreds of years ago, or thousands, or even tens of thousands of years ago. Why don't we just enjoy it, make friendships, build together the world of safety, security, and honor, and love? You know, we have so much money, so much ability to feed the whole world, to offer the children all the comfort and possibility to go to school, to go to college, to learn things, to invent things more and more, to catch up with heavens. Why do we have to destroy each other, kill each other for what? Imagine if you, the leaders, are the victims of the war. Would you like that? No, no, no. 1000% no. So please, make peace together. Be fair in the peace deal. Make it happen. Make it happen for your children. Make it happen for everyone on this planet to enjoy a chance to live in harmony, in security.